pre-recorded live from Unionville, Connecticut. It's Chris Scalzo here with...
The Briar Rabbit.
And this week on the first run, Dave and I continue to hang on by our fingers to the metaphorical cliff that is our childhood with G.I. Joe Retaliation. Can The Rock, Bruce Willis, and Snake Eyes allow us to reaffirm our grip and salvage, nay, ignite a franchise and give Dwayne Johnson the signature franchise he's been looking for? Or are our fingers starting to slip? We'll review the big releases on Blu-ray and DVD, as always featuring Dave's streaming pick of the week. Then it's everybody's favorite Vegas game, What Are the Odds? And we have another big announcement. Starting this week, as we get more involved in the community and the art section stuff here in Connecticut, we'll be featuring local musicians as part of our transitions during our bumpers, and I'm proud to include Canyon as our inaugural guest musician. We're all very excited about this. You can also check her out on hello, my name is Canyon.com, and she has a YouTube channel as well.
Website.
I do. I think it's pretty clever. So we want to thank everybody for listening. Now let's listen to some stuff get blown up real good.
See that?
Security's early.
They're all dead. There's only one man could authorize a strike like that. And I voted for him. You're insane.
My fellow world leaders,
you're looking at an advanced weapons system capable of destroying each of your countries 14 times over. 15 in the case of North Korea. And all at the push of a button.
We have to assume that there's no one we can trust.
There is one man. General.
Call me Joe.
drive it like you stole it.
As your good friend, you need a new catchphrase.
I don't know much about where I'm from, but I know I strike fear everywhere I come. Government
Let's get to work.
So I wear my gun. I really want the rocket launcher, but I'm still too young. This lady give me courage not to fear no one, to feel no pain and hear no tongue. So I hear no screams and I shed no tear.
The president says they can't come out of retirement. They didn't say anything about re-enlisting.
Yo, Joe! Or is it more like,
no, Joe!
So, Dave, here we are. We have a few things we need to tackle with this film. First off, my first question for you, is this the role, the franchise Dwayne Johnson's been looking for? And two, are you able to salvage any bit of your childhood yet from this film?
No, and no. No.
I'm disappointed by
This was
that.
an utter disaster. I can't believe this movie got delayed 6 months, was it?
Yeah.
Or was it longer than that?
No, about a year, roughly. Yeah.
It was a whole year?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
Here's the thing. All right. So after the test screenings of this film, when it first came out, there were concerns. Well, first off, Channing Tatum had kind of blown up.
Yeah.
He had crossed the Tatum line with me.
Right.
And he had become more and more popular. So what they decided to do is bring in more Tatum, which usually you'd think, I guess that makes sense, right?
More Tatum.
Am I low on Tatum? So they reshot some scenes, and I think this is where the film, one of the big failures of the film, is they included some more scenes. I should say not reshot them, but included more scenes between Tatum and The Rock.
Yeah.
To kind of really bolster their relationship.
Yeah.
To try and have an emotional connection for Rock and Tatum and in the audience. So when a major character dies 20 minutes into the film, Tatum, you're supposed to actually care.
Yeah, that didn't work.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I didn't even, and I was so unconfident or disconfident or inconfident. What's the proper term?
I don't know. Congress.
Yes, so that I didn't even bother with the 3D on this. I went straight showing.
Heck no.
So, all right. So for you, then it's an 0 for 2. Not only is it not the franchise-defining role for Dwayne,
no,
but you no longer feel that once again you've lost another piece of your childhood.
No, I mean, G.I. Joe isn't that special for me. I mean, I played with the figurines when I was a kid,
right?
And I watched their cartoon, but I don't know, it didn't really hit home like some of those other like.
Don't say Transformers.
Transformers was big for me when I was a little kid.
But the
and,
film.
Thundercats was huge. Mm-hmm. But G.I. Joe, nothing, man. It just, I don't know. I guess there's a little spark there, but it's not like some of the other franchises that I loved when I was a kid. So the cartoon was crappy, you know. It was a bad cartoon.
It wasn't He-Man bad, but yeah.
I was a lot younger for He-Man, and I loved He-Man.
Have you ever watched? Because they're all on Netflix since you're viewing now.
You keep telling me that, and I'm going to have to check it out.
They're horrible.
But let me tell you, this movie is so bad. And, okay, so...
How bad is it?
You talk about how they added some of those scenes in.
Right.
To be honest with you, the only part of this movie that I was at all interested in was the beginning. So it makes sense to me, I guess, that that's what they added. Because at the very beginning of this movie starts off like... All right, they're gonna go almost like a James Bondish realism,
right?
You know, it's like it's kind of realistic, but it's a little over the top, enough to make it like a really fun action movie. The first, I don't know, up till Tatum dies, like it was actually when Tatum dies in this movie that really this movie like just plummeted for me. I was actually
that's when it was the that's what did
I was actually getting like a little bit excited about this movie, watching the first 20 minutes. Yeah, the stuff between Tatum and The Rock was a little cheesy, but I saw what they were doing, and they were both like, they were okay, you know, they were doing it, and I liked that first action scene where they steal the nuke. It looked good, it was exciting.
Yeah.
But then they fall into this, I don't know what they were doing. They start talking like it's a comic strip or like it's a cartoon, where they have to introduce the characters, and it feels so forced every time they do it. Like Cobra Commander gets introduced, and like somebody on screen has to say, "Cobra Commander, what do you think?" You know, it's like they do that for every character, and it gets so old. It's like ridiculous. I started laughing by, I don't know. They continue to do it all the way through the movie. I started laughing pretty much by the end of the movie every time they did it. Zartan.
That's actually what the note I have is that the film feels forced throughout the entire time.
Big time. I don't. They should have just assumed that everybody knew who these characters were.
Yeah.
Or start it off as like introduce the character in a more natural way.
I mean, how would it work though if you're talking to Cobra Commander and then what do you think, Steve? I mean, or you could maybe if it just says Commander, I guess that would make sense.
Yeah,
you could just
something
do it
like
that.
That'd
be less
Did everybody
intrusive.
forget? Did everybody in the world forget that there was Cobra Commander was in? Well, that this guy like caused that big France, like the Eiffel Tower dissolving in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what do you mean that they forget?
Well, I mean, everybody just kind of accepts that Cobra is now the Secret Service.
I think I watched the first film again last week in preparation.
You did?
I do my homework on this show. This is very serious stuff for me.
That's like doing homework.
I watched the first film again.
Yeah,
and there is no real. Not until the end is there no real announcement that they're Cobra.
Oh, okay.
They're not really addressed as that.
All right.
Throughout the film,
kind of like terrorist group?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's why.
All right.
Because
when the Secret Service guys are wearing the little cobras on their lapel, I'm like, wait a minute, doesn't anybody know these?
You think that would be a big tell?
Yeah.
But no, it's not like that because they're not really announced like that until the very end of the film.
Can we talk about the end of this movie at all? I mean, is it really going to spoil any? Can we spoil a G.I. Joe movie?
I think you can. There's really enough. There's no
because it was so
twist.
batshit ridiculous. Like it was just absolutely stupefying.
Yeah.
The whole conceit of the end of this movie. Mm-hmm. I couldn't believe that. Like, okay, so somebody had to think of this, right?
Yeah.
And then think, this is what we want to do for the end of this movie.
Right.
But then there was a bunch of other people who said, that's a good idea. We'll do that. Like, it's ridiculous. It's unbelievably bad.
Okay. I need to step in here for a few things. First off, this really is an episode of the cartoon come to life. That's kind of how I felt after I watched the film.
All right.
Even more so than the original film. And for that reason alone, I can't hate this movie. I can't.
What?
I want to, but I can't hate it. There's enough in this movie that kept me entertained. Particularly for me, the high point of this whole film is Jonathan Pryce as Arnold Vosloo, as Zartan, playing the president. Yeah. For me, like he seemed to be the only person really enjoying himself and having a good time in this film.
Like he knew he was in a bad movie, so he might as well have fun with it.
But he was hamming it up. I really enjoyed Jonathan Pryce in this film. I was happy to finally get a proper Cobra Commander stylistically, artistic with the silver face mask.
Yeah.
I was happy to see that.
Okay.
This is now you're gonna hear how much you're gonna find out if you didn't already know how much of a geek I am. they actually followed canon in regards to Storm Shadow. That is actually how it all happened.
Yeah, but who cares? Right? I guess there are people who care.
Yeah,
right.
And I agree with you. I think I still have always kind of felt he's better as a foil for Snake Eyes and as a bad guy.
Yeah.
Than he is as a guy who's undercover in Cobra trying to find out who killed the real master.
That's his story? I didn't know that. I thought he was just a bad guy.
Nope, that's his actual story.
Was he just too cool a character to make him bad? That must have been the case.
Guess
right?
so. I guess
he's an awesome figurine.
I don't know. And
it makes Storm Shadows look like puny little... Never mind.
And unlike you, I guess, I enjoyed how preposterous the plot was.
Really? Okay.
How incredibly dumb the whole thing is.
It is dumb. It's like the worst of the James Bond movies, where it's just like, this is stupid.
But I enjoyed it. I love the whole idea of just these huge steel rods just
dropping.
Yeah, using gravity to destroy.
That's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how he destroys all the nukes. Okay. The whole conceit of that. It's like, no way! No!
But I really liked how Price played that up. I
guess.
You're right, it's totally preposterous, but the way Price totally sold it for me.
How are you gonna play that scene, I guess, right? Because if you try and play it serious...
No, it's not gonna work.
It didn't work. I mean, it didn't work.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
But it was entertaining enough for me. My only problem with this film is the largest transgression it has is that it's dull.
Yeah, it is.
You can't have an action movie that's dull. For me, like, I think the mountain raid with Snake Eyes and Jinx,
that should have been cool.
What was epic in scope, but it wasn't exhilarating in its execution at all. It's set up as this whole big raid. It's like it's going to be, and if you remember,
you see this in the trailers.
There's an extended clip where they included it, and it's been in the trailers as well. And it looked like it's going to be this huge action centerpiece of the film. But it's just not that interesting, and it's not that exciting, and that's my big problem with the film as a whole. That it's mostly meh. It's same for Bruce Willis. I'm like, oh look, it's Bruce Willis, but he really brings nothing to the film whatsoever.
There's not a single real character in this whole movie.
No, not at all.
Nobody's believable. You can't identify with anybody.
But you can't go into this looking for that.
Well, I got to look for something, Chris. I mean, it had nothing. This movie had nothing.
I think that's a bridge too far. I think looking for
be entertaining is a bridge too far.
I think fully realized, full-fledged characters, people you care about. For this film, I would look. All I'm wanting to be is entertained and to feel exhilarated and excited. And unfortunately, I wasn't.
No,
it had some nice fleeting moments. Specifically, as I said, is the Jonathan Pryce stuff, and the nods to the lore of the series and the comics and the TV show. But that's it, really. I can't in good conscience recommend you see this in the theater.
Ooh.
Especially with much better film. Well, I mean, Olympus Has Fallen is not good at all. And if I was
just because there's nothing else to see, you should just stay home.
And coming up too,
check out my instant viewing pick because it's a hell of a lot better than what you're about to watch.
And when we post the show, Evil Dead will be out, which is my third most anticipated film of the year.
So I didn't want to see this movie, right? I just didn't want to see G.I. Joe,
right?
Because the first one I thought was just an awful movie. The second one, I decided. The kids went and saw it before me.
Okay.
Right? And they said, oh, it was pretty good. And I'm like, well, what's it about? And they describe
they're
a little
11-year-olds.
Right. They describe a little bit about it. And then I'm like, okay, this doesn't sound too bad,
Right.
And they had a really good time watching it. So, I go and the first 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, okay, this isn't great, but it's not bad.
Right.
Oh my God, it just goes so far downhill, though. It's unbelievable. It's so bad.
I wasn't as disappointed, I guess, or as upset by you. Like I said, it's fine. It's fine. There's nothing new. There's nothing interesting here, and it's just that I'm kind of disappointed again for The Rock. Once again, no, he does not. He has yet to find his. Maybe he needs remake They Live, or do something kind of cultish, or I don't know. But this is clearly not. This is not going to be the career-defining role. Of course, they'll make another sequel. This thing made they're going to make another one. This thing made a ton of money. I think it made back all of its money already when you count the foreign grosses.
Yeah.
So you're going to see another G.I. Joe movie. So I hope you're excited for that.
I'm not.
You're not. All right.
I wonder if The Rock will stay in it. Bruce Willis is definitely out.
Probably.
Oh my gosh, that was so bad. That was so bad. Like, the Bruce Willis has this little, like, wrap up your character moment at the end that is just like, oh, God, come on.
Yeah, he's really only in there because they wanted to put Bruce Willis in the movie. That's really all he's doing in this film.
It was a tough one to watch.
If you've have a chance to see JoJo Retaliation, we'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email at thefirstrun@gmail.com. We're going to come back with the Blu-ray DVD picks for this upcoming Tuesday, April 9th. But in the interim, I'm very excited. Here we go. It's the first song from Canyon. It's called Slow Song.
Hold your hand while I can, I'll kiss you slow. Even if my heart is breaking, I won't let it show. And if I'm sick with worry, got a lot on my mind, I'm gonna kiss you slowly, gonna take my time. Is just another thing coming and another going out the door. And you were just another of my lovers, but I'll never love another no more. And you'll never know what will happen or what won't. So I'm gonna take my time, I'm gonna kiss you slow. Bed in the morning and I'll walk the dog. I'll wash your clothes until the stains come off. Even if I'm sick of talking or just sick and tired, I'll kiss you slowly, gonna take my time. Is just another thing coming and another going out the door. And you were just another of my...
Hello? Who was that? The president wishes to see me.
I'd been invited to visit with Franklin at his home in Hyde Park.
Daisy, what a rare treat.
His mother said he needed to take his mind off his work and the pressures of being the president.
What do you say you and I get out of here? Go someplace quiet?
That spring, Franklin showed me a world I never knew existed.
Where's the police car going?
Sometimes they have to catch a crook or something, I suppose.
And soon, we became best friends.
Mr. President? They just left Beacon.
Good. It won't be too long.
No king of England had ever visited America before.
So nice of you to come. Mr. President, forgive me for not getting up.
So Franklin invited them here, to the country, where we could all relax.
Your mother has now told me for the 10th time not to call her Royal Highness Elizabeth.
Do you mind if I call you Elizabeth?
No. No.
So that's a clip from Hyde Park on the Hudson. It's a film where Bill Murray actually plays FDR as they entertain the King and Queen of England right during World War II for them, before our involvement, though, as they try and come over to the U.S. and try and get us involved. I was all excited to see this film. I mean, you have Bill Murray as FDR. How can I not want to see that? But the reviews were atrocious.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be dull, interminably long, and boring.
Oh.
Maybe I'll catch up with it if it hits Netflix in some viewing, because I'm still very curious about seeing Bill Murray as FDR.
Yeah.
But that's the big release that's coming up next Tuesday, April 9th on Blu-ray. Because remember, Dave, last week I said that these next 2 weeks are going to be pretty bad. And this is it. This is like the only one, outside of New to Blue, this is the only one that's coming up that's interesting. Includes feature commentary by the director and producer, and some deleted scenes as well. That's Hyde Park on the Hudson. New to Blu-ray from Criterion, we're getting a slew of films. First up, we have David Cronenberg's adaptation of William S. Burroughs' Naked Lunch. Includes a whole bunch of special features, a whole high-definition digital transfer, audio commentary featuring Cronenberg and Peter Weller, who starred in the film. And I've never seen Naked Lunch, so I'm really excited to catch up with this. I'm hoping it'll pop up on Hulu soon. Olivier's Richard III is getting its Blu-ray release from Criterion as well. Another film that I have never seen. I really need to catch up with my Criterions. Remember when we were doing that marathon for a while? We were going to watch them all, and then we shifted to a one-movie format and got away from it.
Yeah, thank God for that.
And Richard III is one I have yet to catch up with. There's audio commentary by playwright and stage director Russell Lees and John Wildes, former governor of the Royal Shakespeare Company. They have an interview with Olivier as well from 1966 is included, as a bunch of other featurettes are on here as well. Criterion is also bringing us Gates of Hell, Winner of Academy Awards for Best Foreign Language Film and Best Costume Design, Gates of Hell is a visually sumptuous... I just wanted to say that word. I love that word. Psychologically penetrating work from Tinosuke Kinugasa.
Nailed it.
Thank you. In the midst of epic violent intrigue in 12th century Japan, an imperial warrior falls for a lady in waiting. Even after he discovers she is married, he goes to extreme lengths to win her love. King Kunagisa's
nailed it.
Film is an unforgettable, tragic story of obsession and unrequited passion that was an early triumph of color cinematography in Japan. So hopefully I'll be able to check that out as well. And now you're straight to DVD pick of the week.
Yeah.
Paranormal movie. So now this is so low rent. It's not even in the scary movies franchise. It's just like a rung below all those.
They're now like lampooning those?
I guess so. This one's Paranormal movie. Life for Larry, played by Kevin Farley, brother of Chris Farley.
Really?
Has always been a little weird, but things get really strange when spooky disturbances start waking him up each night. To catch the poltergeist in action, Larry sets up dozens of video cameras and quickly discovers that his house is infested with freaky clowns, weed-smoking demons, and uninvited celebrities.
Weed-smoking demons?
You should watch this trailer. It's atrocious.
You think they're like conspiracy theorists, the demons?
Probably. He tries everything he can to get rid of them and ward off the evil, including calling in TV's demon hunter Jack Goff, played by John Farley, his brother. Psychologist Dr. Looney, played by the lovely Maria Menounos.
How many Farleys are there?
I guess
three
initially, now two. Famous psychic Dr. Lipschitz. That's the kind of high-quality comedy we're dealing with. Played by the venerable Eric Roberts. As outrageous as it is hilarious, Paranormal Movie is a creepy new comedy that gives found footage movies exactly what they deserve. I guess an appreciation of how good some found footage movies can be, is what I'd assume. This also stars Kevin Sorbo. Kevin Sorbo is in it.
Oh, God.
And there's this weird midget, or little person who's all painted in red, and he's the devil. So there's like a little dwarf devil.
Oh, nice. It always shocked me. Kevin Sorbo was in that Hercules TV show that went on for a long time. But it always shocked me that he was popular enough to get another series after that. It was like a spaceship series.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about that.
I was so surprised. Like, I always thought that guy was like the worst thing going about the Hercules series. Was like they just got this guy who's just a bad actor. And then the fact that he got another lead role in an acting series, didn't he actually get? He was also in a movie playing like the son of Conan or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's done a bunch of stuff. I don't.
He's a bad actor though. He really is. He's terrible.
Wow. All right. I didn't know we were going to stomp all over
Kevin Sorbo
today. You know, he's a distant cousin of mine.
Yeah.
So, Dave, what's your streaming pick of the week?
This is a good one. Okay, so this one is available on Netflix. And what it is, it's actually a 3-part miniseries that aired on the History Channel. 2 hours apiece. So it's like 6 hours to view the whole thing. It's the Hatfield and the McCoys.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Costner won an Emmy for this, right?
Yeah, Kevin Costner and Bill... I always forget if it's Pullman or Paxton. I think it's Paxton in this one.
The one from Alien is Paxton.
Yeah, it's the one from Alien.
All right.
So it's these two guys.
Aliens.
One of them plays, obviously, Hatfield, and one of them plays McCoy. And it kind of starts off with them in the Civil War and how they're in the same division. And then it kind of follows them. Now, in all truthfulness, I've only gotten through the first episode, so I haven't watched the full series yet.
Okay.
But from what I've seen so far, it's not too bad. I'm enjoying it. This story is kind of like this like iconic story that hangs over everybody's heads. Everybody knows it's about these two clans that just let this blood feud go for too long and all these people die.
But do you find out why?
Yeah, you just kind of figure out what happened.
Because that's what I don't know why.
I didn't either. Well, I don't know that I do know. As far as I'm concerned, this is gospel now. This is an actual history. This is 100% truth.
All right. Well,
that's as far as I'm concerned. I'm deeming it so.
I think
so. Now you can find out exactly what happened, word for word.
That's good. Thank you, television.
It happened on the History Channel, for God's sake.
Well, it has to be true then.
It has to be.
It's not like History Channel runs anything that's not historical.
That's right. It's pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it. I've only gotten through the first episode, and there's 3 2-hour episodes, so it's a lot of viewing too.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, Dave. And that's what's coming up on Blu-ray and DVD this upcoming Tuesday, April 9th. We're going to take another break, and we're going to come back with What Are the Odds? When we pretty much pick down the odds of any particular event, something happening.
And then
in the
never
world of
revisit
cinema.
the list again.
Yes. And this is our summer. I don't know if you remember this. This is our summer movie version.
Yeah.
So everything has to deal with films that are coming out this summer.
How many you got?
I got a few, and I actually have a little twist on it as well. I'm very excited about it. We'll get into all that, though, when we get back.
injured angel and brought tears to my lash line. Made me yearn for the open road, the newness still left to find. And rejection is a bitter pill. It sticks like glue and it stings like hell. And lately think that I've had my fill, so I'll give it back to you. And baby, it's cruel the way you let me fall for you when you're falling for another. The way you spin me round in your web, spinning tails to your lover. The way you left me out to dry. The way you left me unsatisfied.
You're not just anyone. One day, you're gonna have to make a choice. You have to decide what kind of man you want to grow up to be. Whoever that man is, good character or bad, he's gonna change the world.
That's right, Dave. I just pulled a clip from Man of Steel there.
Oh, great.
I'm very excited about. That's my number one most anticipated film of the year.
I was wondering
Superman,
why I was drifting
Man of
off
Steel.
there.
How dare you? Come on, it's Zack Snyder. At the very least, it's going to be loud. So, Dave, now it's what are the odds? Yeah, I actually blanked for a minute there. I almost started saying call it. It's what are the odds when we have to do our Vegas thing and we apply the odds? Is something actually happening?
That's right.
Dave, I'll start us off since I led in with the Superman clip.
Do it.
Dave, what are the odds Superman Man of Steel ends up being the second best Superman film ever made?
What?
I'm not even going to give it first.
Okay, what's
because
the
I don't
first?
think that's possible.
What's the first?
For me, it's always going to be the original film.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm feeling down, if I'm feeling kind of, or even if I need kind of like an inspiration, I will
That's
watch
your
that
go-to?
first film.
No kidding.
And I always feel in a good mood after that first film.
Yeah.
Let me specify that. The end of the film, still, I have issues with. I've always had issues with it, even as a kid.
Yeah.
The
Well,
fact
you
that
talk about how he
turns
turns
the,
the-
yeah,
yeah.
and everything goes back in time.
Yeah.
But
That doesn't seem to make sense. But
the opening of the film through his first night as Superman.
Yeah.
Man, it still gets to me every time. Still,
Yeah.
and when
It's a
that
good
theme
movie.
starts off. So what are the odds? So then now your competition is Superman 2.
Yep.
Superman 3.
Superman 2 is with Zod?
Yep.
Okay.
A lot of some people think that's the best one.
That is a
You
good
can make
one.
an argument for that.
Yeah.
Superman 3, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace,
Yeah, that's
which is
not-
horrible.
no.
And then we're throwing in Superman Returns.
Nope, that's definitely not it.
So-
yeah, I think it's...
what are the odds it's number 2?
Number 2, I think it's pretty high. Number 1 and number 2 of the Christopher Reeves were both strong movies, I think.
Well, which would be your favorite out of those two?
I think I gotta go... I haven't seen him in a long time, but I think I gotta go with number 2. I really like the menace of Zod and the way he takes over the whole country, and
So
he
now-
seems like this unstoppable force.
Right.
I
So now
gotta be
you're
honest, though, I kind of like 3, too.
Do you really?
I
With
just like Richard
Pryor?
Pryor. I just like Richard Pryor.
Oh, man.
Again, I haven't seen it in a long
The
time.
only good
though.
thing about Superman 3, and if you search the internet for me,
Yeah,
you'll
drunk-
find a bunch of
drunk Superman.
forums and stuff. My picture is Superman taking a shot of whiskey,
Yeah,
which
that's a
I
good-
used to love.
that's
that.
a good
And the
pick.
fight in the junkyard between bad Superman and Clark Kent is pretty cool. But so now you're saying, all right, so here's where you are.
It's
Superman
gotta
2
be-
you think is a favorite. So what are the odds that Man of Steel is
better
better
than Superman 1?
than the Superman, the original film?
Yeah. So my biggest problem with this movie, right from the get-go, is it's going to be another origin story, which I'm just sick of.
Right.
And Superman in particular, I mean, we just had
Is there a more established superhero in this planet?
right? I mean, we just had a 10-year series on TV that just dealt with his high school years.
That's very true.
You know, and we've done the Christopher Reeve version of this origin story, which is, those movies are old. They were made in the 80s, but I feel like everybody's seen them, and it's still fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Superman Returns, just jumping right into it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that movie just didn't work for me because it was boring.
What? Who doesn't watch 2 hours of Superman lifting things?
So I don't know. It looks like it's going to be a well-produced movie.
Yes.
If they can get the action to be exciting. That's another problem with Superman, is that getting some stakes on the line is hard.
I think he's from what the trailers I've seen and the clips and stuff, I'm getting more and more excited for this film.
All right, so I'm going to go with...
And some people have seen screenings and say it's good.
I'm going to go with 35%.
35%.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you that. That 35% chance that it's better. That it is the second best Superman film ever made. I like the way they're tackling this, even though you're right, it's an origin story. But I like the way that it's going to be done, as he is. It's almost like an illegal alien, the foreign, the unknown. They're going to be first scared by him and not trust him.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that angle of how it's all going to work. And I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful Snyder's not going to spend, like in the original film, we're not going to spend the first hour plus establishing his origin, him growing up as a kid.
That would drive me crazy. I gotta be honest with you. They'd have to do something really spectacular if they spend
I'm
an
hoping
hour
like the
on
first
origin.
20 minutes. Well, the first, you know what? No, there's no way, because they'll spend the first 15, 20 minutes on just blowing up Krypton, probably.
Yeah. Okay, so that part I'm in for. I like stuff blowing up. You know, that's one of my
Yes, you
one
do.
of my things.
Yes, you do. For me, is this that Superman Man of Steel will be the second best Superman film ever made.
How cool would this movie be? Imagine if the first hour was just based on Krypton.
Yeah.
And then the last half hour was just the origin story of Superman on Earth. They didn't even get into...
You wouldn't like that at
I would
all.
love to see Krypton.
Yeah, but you're not going to... There'd be no fighting, no Superman versus Zod.
No, but the Krypton
You basically
stuff would
have-
be fighting,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
no,
What happened on Krypton? There
was
war.
like a revolution. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
see,
I don't...
they're fighting.
You really want to see Zod versus Russell Crowe for an hour and a half?
Who's Russell Crowe?
He plays Jor-El, his dad.
Oh. Boy, that's another knock on this movie.
Are you not entertained? I'm gonna go.
Did you see Russell Crowe in, what was that movie called? The one that was made by RZA. RZA.
Oh, I did. Man with the Iron Fist?
Yeah, oh my God.
I did see that.
He was awful in that.
You watched it?
Yeah, I did. It was on, I can't remember what
Yeah,
it was
I was
on.
really hoping that was going to be like a little
Oh,
kind of B
man, it
movie,
was awful.
grindhouse neo-classic, but it really wasn't.
It was terrible.
Anyway,
Okay.
back to the show, Dave. I'm going to go 10%.
10%.
That this film is going
that's
to be...
low.
The problem is you're going up against Superman 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Two of the
Those are
greatest
two.
superhero
Yeah.
films ever made. And I would say, and if you go third best, but the problem is there's such a large drop-off from 1 and 2. I think Returns is fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's just dull. This will easily be better than Superman Returns. This will easily be
How
number
can you
3.
say that? How can you say that? You
I
haven't
just
seen
think
the
it
movie.
will be. I think with Nolan guiding the ship and the special effects they can do now, I think this is going to be an exceptionally entertaining film. But I still don't think it'll be as good as one or 2.
Okay, so my question for you is going to be along similar lines, so I'm just going to bump it up in the order here.
Let's go.
What are the odds that the Man of Steel... I don't even know if I should answer because we're just going to rehash the same conversation. What are the odds the Man of Steel can reboot Superman as well as Batman Begins did for Batman?
Oh, I think it will. I'm going to give this I'll give it like an 80% chance.
You really?
I'm going to leave 20%
Batman
out
Begins,
in case it's an
Batman
entire
was
turkey.
in a bad spot.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, they were a laughing stock, those movies. Like, the later movies of that
Forever
came out of
and
that.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, they were laughing stock, right? So they were joke movies.
Especially the last one.
And then Batman Begins came out. Everybody was blown away. I was blown away. It was a whole new take on Batman. It was much grittier, much more realistic. I really enjoyed it. And then Dark Knight was
a classic of the genre.
So, what are the chances they could do for Superman what they did for Batman?
I'm giving it 80%. And the only reason why I'm deducting 20% is because Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I'm fairly confident.
All right. I'm gonna go lower. I think I'll go like 40%.
Really? You're that unconfident?
Well, I don't like these trailers that are coming out. I don't like them.
Really? Those 2 trailers where they have the Russell Crowe voiceover and the Kevin Costner voiceover.
Yeah.
and they actually use music from one of the Lord of the Rings films. I don't know if you recognize it. In fact, we just played it. Those two trailers, I really do the trick. Now, the problem for me is the trailer to Superman Returns was possibly one of the greatest trailers I've ever seen in my life. I was so excited. In fact, we did that top 5 one day, trailers that were much better than the films.
Yeah.
That was my number 1.
Yeah, trailers.
So I'm a little nervous, but those two Superman Man of Steel trailers I think are really, really good. But I am anxious for another one. We are overdue, and I think we're supposed to get one like in another week or two.
Usually when I'm surprised pleasantly by like a trailer that's bad, like a trailer that doesn't get me excited for a movie that I end up really enjoying.
Yeah.
It's usually because there's some kind of plot spoiler that it just can't ruin in that trailer. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it would really take away from the movie.
Right.
I can't see that being the case with a Superman movie.
No.
So if a trailer doesn't have me going, especially for an action movie, then I don't know. I'm just not loving it. Not loving the trailer.
Fair enough.
All right, so go ahead with your number 2 question.
My number 2 is I actually just earlier in this show slapped around Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah.
And we can actually watch my video discussion of it on our YouTube channel as well.
I watched that. You're a booze hound in that.
Yes,
it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. You're drinking.
No, it wasn't night. I did it at night.
Whatever.
So,
a little whiskey.
I just hadn't gone to bed. So, there's another film coming out called White House Down, starring Channing Tatum.
I just saw the...
So what are the odds? Of course, this would be tough for you because you haven't seen Olympus Has Fallen. Mm-hmm. But what are the odds? Well, here we go. What are the odds White House Down is a superior film to Olympus Has Fallen? And we're going to go by the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Rotten Tomatoes
score.
Since
you haven't seen it, what do you think?
I'm going to go with a wildly positive 25%.
So you think 25% chance that it will be better?
Okay, because the only thing I've seen in both of these movies is a trailer, and at least for Olympus Has Fallen, I kind of got excited.
Okay.
But for White House Down, nothing. I'm getting nothing from that trailer. Just like I'm getting nothing for the Superman trailer is much better than the White House Down.
I can't. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm on the fence on White House Down. I mean, it's got Channing Tatum, right? And we all know how much I love him.
Yeah.
And there's Jamie Foxx is in it too, which I'm a little iffy on.
Is he playing the president?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. Man, all the horrible stuff always happens with the black presidents.
Yeah.
Even in Olympus Has Fallen, the Speaker of the House, who becomes the president while everything's going down, Morgan Freeman.
Oh, man.
But it's got Jason Clarke, and James Woods and Richard Jenkins are all in it. And these are all really top-shelf actors. Jason Clarke played the interrogator in Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
He's really good. So those are the things that make me anxious that maybe it actually won't be horrible.
Yeah.
So, and how much I disdained Olympus Has Fallen just because of how dumb it was. Though still a better film than A Good Day to Die Hard. But I'm going to give White House Down, I'm going to say it's got a 60% chance of being better than Olympus Has Fallen.
Is that just because you hated Olympus Has Fallen so
Probably.
badly? Yeah.
And, I mean, Olympus Has Fallen had its moments, and Gerard Butler equates himself fine in the role, but the whole film is just preposterous. It's just dumb. That's what bothered me. I'm hoping this film will be a little smarter.
Chris, did you see the new trailer for Star Trek?
I can't remember if I've seen the new one, no.
Oh, no. Okay, so it's got a couple scenes. It seems like this guy's going to be Khan, right? From Wrath of Khan.
He has a different name. But yeah, that seems to be the
and I also saw a scene that reminded me of when Spock died at the end.
Right.
Was that at the end of
There's
Wrath
a hand on the glass between Kirk's hand. Yeah, that's in Star Trek 2.
So it really reminded me of that.
I found out something about that, though.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if I want to say.
Why?
It's not Spock's hand.
Oh, really? Whose is it?
It's
Kirk?
Khan's hand.
Oh, really?
With Kirk's for some reason.
Huh.
But the way, this is why you gotta love Abrams, the way he sets that up is he wants you to think that that's a hint to Star Trek 2.
Yeah.
And that, see, he really is Khan. But I guess from what I've read that's actually not Spock's hand. That's not what's going on.
All right, so back to my question,
Please.
right? Is what are the odds that Star Trek Into Darkness will be better than Wrath of Khan? Which I think we can agree is the best Star Trek movie right now.
Easily. And man, we definitely have a consistent theme of today's What Are the Odds? It's always what's better than the previous one. We got to do better next week. But
Wrath of Khan though is, I mean, it's an old movie, but it's really good and it stands up really well. Now, I really liked the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie. It was good.
It is. It's very good.
This one looks like it's going to be better to me.
It does.
It really does.
It looks like it's
going to be exciting. It looks like the characters are going to be more developed. It looks like there's really going to be some character development. I don't know. I'm really excited about it.
I agree. I think the second film, I think Into Darkness, even though I like the first one a lot, I think this will be better than the first one. Will it be better than
Wrath of Khan
2? No, there's no way.
No way? There's
Star
no way
Trek
they
2.
can make a better Star Trek movie than
No.
Wrath of Khan. It can't
They can't.
happen.
You
There's
can't.
no headspace
You can't do
above
it.
Wrath of Khan.
The problem with that
movie was perfect.
Yes, the problem you have 2 words: Bill Shatner.
That's true. He's hard to overcome.
That film. What really works about, let's be honest, right? What works about Star Trek 2 is Nicholas Myers' direction and James Horner's score. The idea they had to change, because if you've seen the original Star Trek film, even though it's a fascinating movie, it is dull.
It is
and
amazingly
long.
dull.
Now, so what they did for the second film is they kick out Roddenberry. You can stay on as a consultant, but we don't want you. You're not involved. And they go to a naval theme, and even the music that they use, everything is kind of, and it's very swashbuckling, but it's all in space, and that's why that film is so successful. Now you can't. I like Chris Pine as Kirk. I think he's fine.
Yeah, but he's no Shatner.
But it's Shatner.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm gonna. I wanted to give, because I think this film is going to be good.
Yeah.
I want to give it like a 10%.
Yeah.
But I can't.
You can't.
Khan is
You can't.
it's the perfect Star Trek film. So I don't think I've ever done this, but I'm giving it a 0.
I am completely agreeing with you.
Mhm.
I give this a 0% chance too. Wrath of Khan. I don't think Shatner.
Use your words.
He's just completely fascinating in this movie. The whole movie is just so much fun to watch. Like,
Yes,
it's
it
just
is.
from start to finish. Remember that little earwig thing that they stick
Yep,
in
yep,
Sulu's ear? Oh my god, that movie
Chekhov.
frightened me.
Go ahead.
Chekhov. That movie frightened me for years when I was a kid. I love that movie. I still love that movie. When that movie's on TV, I definitely am watching it.
You should see the Blu-ray of it too. Is gorgeous. They
Is
did
it
a
really?
great job restoring that film.
Really?
When I was a little kid too, after that movie came out, I may have mentioned this in the show before. I had a vinyl, I had a record copy of the soundtrack.
Really?
I wish I still had it. And what I would do is I would sit in my dad's recliner and play the music on our record player, and then reenact scenes from
Nice.
the movie with the music.
Like you're in the captain's chair?
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
And I may do it this weekend.
That's a good idea.
Because I do have it on. I got the expanded version of the score now too.
Oh,
It is
yeah.
one of my. I'm a big score fan. It is one of my all-time favorites. Is Star Trek 2. So Dave, what are the odds? I love this. 2 big films coming out on July 12th. What are the odds? Grown Ups 2 wins the weekend box office over Guillermo del Toro's Pacific Rim.
Oh, it's like 100%.
You think so?
Yeah. Where? My next question is about Pacific Rim too. You know, unless they can find some way to market this
It's
movie.
got explosions and huge robots.
I know Grown Ups was really popular though.
Even though it's a horrible film.
It is bad. It's so boring. I don't know. Okay, so 100% is ridiculous.
I think it is.
I'm gonna go high though. They're not doing a good job
promoting Pacific Rim.
Not even to us.
It's
like
early.
people who we really are big fans.
Guillermo del Toro, yeah.
Nailed it. We're big fans, and even we're not that excited about this movie.
I think that's an interesting point. Because if, like you're saying, they haven't really done a great job marketing yet. They've just released like a huge trailer for it just a little while ago.
Oh, did they?
I think it's because they're waiting. I think they realize first we got to get through Iron Man 3. We got to get through Star Trek. We got to get through Superman Returns. All those films come out before this movie.
So they're just gonna pound it when it's.
So I'm thinking, I think you're going to see a big trailer on Iron Man 3, and I think as we get, because we're talking July 12th, we're still what, 3 months away.
Yeah.
So I think as we get closer, it'll get bigger and bigger. I think it's, but granted, I don't think there's not a lot of huge names in it, right? It's Idris Elba, but nobody really knows outside of geeks like me who Idris Elba is, right? Unless you watch The Wire. But yeah, I think it's going to be a huge film. I actually don't agree with you, Dave. I think Pacific Rim will be. I think it's just a perfect summer spectacle.
Yeah.
I think it will win the weekend. I'm going to give it a 95%.
Wow, that's awesome.
That Pacific Rim's going
I
to
hope
win
you're
the
right.
box office.
I really
that
hope you're
weekend.
right about this. I really want him to get all the money he can possibly.
Which is not the question I asked. So I guess I should say 5%.
5%
that
that
grown-ups
grown-ups
will win
Okay.
the box. That was technically the question.
All right. So my next question is on Pacific Rim 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what are the odds that your opinion of Guillermo del Toro will remain as high as they are right now after that movie?
I think it'll go higher.
You think so?
I'm confident that this film is going to be good.
Yeah.
I don't blame Guillermo for my would appear a lack of excitement to see this film. I don't think that's his fault. I think it's for me. I'm so stoked about Superman, Evil Dead, and Star Trek
that you just don't
that
have
it's
the headspace?
outside my window of stuff, because it's all those other things too. For me, are established properties. Pacific Rim is something building from the ground up. Right. So I just
don't see any room in the concept of this movie to really knock me out like Pan's Labyrinth did.
And just from I think that's fair. I think that's a good point. But I think on a technical achievement level, I think this film will blow me away. Even if I don't end up loving it, just from what I've seen for that trailer, it looks like a gorgeous film.
All right, you got another one?
I do and I don't.
I got one more question. You want
All right,
to
go ahead.
Question?
So
okay.
you give us another. Oh, I don't think I answered it though.
Oh, okay.
So what are the odds? What are the odds that this is going to increase my opinion of Del Toro?
Yeah.
Man, he's already up there. He's like in the upper echelon for me it is. So I'll say I don't know. I'll say 80%. I love the guy. Right. So I think it's going to be a good film, and I'm going to be very impressed.
All right, I'm going to go with 50%. I'm a little more scared than you are.
Okay. Way to take a stand. 50,
so my last one is, what are the odds that we see a Kick-Ass 3? I'm surprised we're seeing a Kick-Ass 2.
Well, the film did really well. I'm surprised it took this long to get it out.
Really?
The film was a pretty big success.
Was it?
Surprisingly, yeah. It did really well. They were surprised that it did as well as it did.
It was so dark. It doesn't strike me as a mainstream.
I don't know if this film's going to be as good.
No.
It might be. I don't know. I'm thinking there's going to be... I will guarantee you at least a direct-to-video sequel.
No Nick Cage.
Well, yeah. But you have Jim Carrey this time.
Oh.
But I'm going to guarantee you at least a direct-to-video sequel. Will there be a third film? Right. I don't know. I think the response to this one will be a little muted. Yeah. I'm going to go... I'll go 35% that you're going to get a sequel. You're going to get a Kick-Ass 3.
All right. I'm going to go 20%. I'm surprised that there's a Kick-Ass 2. All right. So you got something special for us?
Kinda. It's called. I'm gonna. It's called Rank 'Em.
Rank 'Em.
I'm gonna give you 5 summer films.
Okay.
I want you to. This is. You put on your projector hat here. You're gonna be the great Kazoo. Here we go. You're gonna have to tell me. I want 2 things. 1. Rank these 5 films in box office. Who will be number 1 through 5?
Okay.
Are you ready? Superman, Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Oblivion, the Tom Cruise film.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
Star Trek Into Darkness.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3.
Okay. I think Iron Man 3 is probably going to be the big one.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Superman...
You're going to go 1 on Iron Man 3.
I think Superman will be number 2. Oblivion will be number 3. What were the other 2?
Pacific Rim and Star Trek.
Oh, man, Star Trek's got to be higher. Star Trek's got to be... Star Trek's going to be number 2 under Iron Man.
Okay, I thought you'd go that way.
And then Oblivion.
So wait, okay. Superman.
Superman, yeah, then Superman's 3, Oblivion's 4. What was the 5th one?
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim will be number 5.
You think so?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's my pick.
Interesting. I think I'm going to go... Man, I think you may have a point with Iron Man 3. Actually, though, I'm going to say Star Trek Into Darkness is going to be number 1. Win it? I think that's going to be the big film.
Iron Man, I don't know. Iron Man's got this whole Avengers momentum built in.
It does.
And Robert Downey Jr. has been knocking it out of the park.
That's true. I'm going to give Iron Man 2. Iron Man 3 is going to be number 2 for me, which means Superman will be number 3 for me, just like you. But I'm going to go Pacific Rim 4, Oblivion 5.
Really? Oblivion... They have been promoting Oblivion since like last November.
Well, it's coming out like in a week or 2.
Yeah, but it's been on the radar for a long time. I feel like they've given this movie away in the trailers though.
Yep.
Like I feel like I know what this movie's about, and I'm kind of sad about that.
All right, so now you're going to rank them again, Dave. Same 5 films. Ready? Iron Man 3, Star Trek Into Darkness, Pacific Rim, Oblivion, Superman of Steel. Rank them in order of how good they're going to be.
How good they're going to be. All right, so I'm going to go... I got to give Del Toro the benefit of the doubt here. I'm going to make him number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So you think Pacific Rim will be the best film you see this summer?
Then I'm going to go... I think I'll go Iron Man, Superman...
Again, Superman 3. That leaves you Oblivion
and... what was the other one?
And... oh, wait. So we got Pacific Rim 1, Iron Man 2, Superman 3...
Oblivion.
And you still haven't done Star Trek yet, or
God,
Oblivion.
Star Trek's got to be up higher. I keep forgetting Star Trek. What's up with that? All right, so I'm going to go Star Trek number 1.
You are?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm changing it
We're
up.
resetting.
Star Trek's going to be better than Pacific Rim.
Okay.
Then I'm going Pacific Rim 2.
Then Iron Man 3.
Iron Man, Superman, Oblivion.
Okay.
I think Oblivion's going to be the worst of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I feel strong about that.
All right, that's
I like
interesting.
that list. What are you doing?
I'm actually I think I'm actually going to be pretty close to you. I'm going to go Star Trek is going to be the best film this summer.
Okay.
I'm going to go Superman Man of Steel is going to be the second best film.
No way.
I'm confident with that. I think Iron Man 3 will be the third best because I think they're going with a darker edge on this time.
Yeah.
And it's Robert
the trailer's
Downey Jr.
got me really
It's
really
Robert Downey
excited.
Jr., so that means I'm going to give Pacific Rim 4, and then just like you, Oblivion, I think will be the fifth best film we see this summer.
I want Oblivion to be good. The trailer, there's so many different trailers, and they're all kind of showing these little bits and pieces that I feel like they're giving away too much of the story.
Interesting. That was fun. All right, and that's it. That's What Are the Odds? What are your odds? Shoot us an email at thefirstrun@gmail.com. I'm going to take another break, come back, and we're going to tell you what's coming up next week.
I've been chasing trains, wearing down my tires again. And you've been checking out, wearing down my resolve again. I gotta turn off, 'cause I can't watch anymore. And I gotta stop trying to fix everyone. And you'll be fine. You fill my shoes up in no time. Like you said, you could have a different one every night. So be cruel if you want to. Leave me hanging, hurt my feelings if you have to. 'Cause I will survive you. I will thrive in spite of all I have been through. Someone setting off fireworks outside my window. In the back of
Me. Listen, you gotta get out of those clothes.
You have to get me out of here.
Nobody said this is gonna be easy.
You don't understand. There was something in the woods, David. And I think it's in here with us now.
Want me in the room?
There's something in the woods.
Yeah, it's called boredom.
David. I feel bad for Canyon. It's her first time on the show, and she leads right into the Evil Dead clip. So that's it. That's what's coming up next week. My third most anticipated film of the year. I'm so excited that this film is finally here.
I don't get your excitement at all.
The early reviews have been fantastic. People saying that any Evil Dead fan, this is the movie you've wanted to see.
Really?
If you're a fan of the original, let's keep this in mind too. This is not going to be Evil Dead Part 2 remake.
Yeah, see, I don't
with
like
the
the
goofy
original.
stuff.
I
the
like-
first film.
I like 2.
This is going to be a hardcore horror film. What I like too is that they didn't use any. There's no CGI. They did everything here.
That's cool.
So I'm
I like
very
that.
excited
That
about
makes
that.
me happy. All right, now I'm a little excited.
I'm glad I got you around a little bit. But from what I understand, it is supposed to be a brutal experience, so I'm bringing my 4-year-old nephew.
Good. Nice job. So you can squeeze him like a teddy bear.
That's right. I want to take him home to my sister, and then he cries all night long. So in the meantime, why don't you look us up on the Facebooks and the Twitter. You can like and follow us there. Just do a search for The First Run. Shoot us an email at thefirstrun@gmail.com. As always, we'd love to hear from you. And that's it. That's the big show for this week. I want to thank everybody for listening, and we will see you all in a week.
Velvet Chocolate out.